The Israeli Defense Forces, or IDF, launched airstrikes on Hezbollah positions in Lebanon. This came after the IDF detected preparations for an attack on Israel. IDF spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari reported the airstrikes. He said Israeli Air Force fighter jets targeted Hezbollah sites. These sites were deemed a threat to Israeli citizens. Civilians in southern Lebanon were urged to evacuate their homes. This was for their safety. Public shelters were opened across Israel. New restrictions were also put in place. These were in northern areas of Israel. These actions came after Hezbollah fired over 6,700 rockets and drones. This occurred since October 8th. The attacks resulted in the deaths of 26 civilians and 19 soldiers in Israel. The IDF asserts that the airstrikes are necessary. They are a measure to protect Israeli citizens. The IDF wants to protect citizens from imminent danger. The situation remains tense. Both sides are monitoring each other's movements. The international community is concerned. They have expressed concern over the escalating violence. World leaders have called for restraint from both parties. The possibility of further escalation is a serious concern. Israel successfully thwarted a Hezbollah attack. This attack targeted an IDF intelligence base. The base is located in central Israel. The attack was prevented. This was due to intelligence gathered by Israeli forces. The event demonstrates heightened awareness. It also shows preparedness. The specific details of the planned attack remain undisclosed. The extent of its potential damage is also unknown. This incident is serious. It underscores the ongoing threat from Hezbollah. This threat is to Israeli security. It extends beyond the country's northern border. The IDF remains on high alert. The IDF is anticipating and preparing for potential future attacks. The thwarted attack is significant. It highlights the complex security situation. The region is volatile. Both sides are constantly probing for weaknesses. They are also looking for opportunities to strike. Israel launched heavy airstrikes on Hezbollah targets. The targets were in southern Lebanon. The airstrikes happened early Sunday. Israel claimed it was a preemptive strike. This action was met with retaliation from Hezbollah. Hezbollah responded with hundreds of rockets and drones. They were fired into Israel. The exchange of fire escalated tensions. It raised fears of a broader conflict. The targets were primarily military sites. The situation has calmed temporarily. However, it remains tense. Both sides are assessing the damage. They are also strategizing their next moves. The exchange of fire ended by mid-morning, but the underlying tensions remain unresolved. Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu spoke about the situation. He emphasized Israel's right to defend itself. The U.S. reaffirmed its support for Israel. Ceasefire talks are ongoing in Cairo. The goal is to end the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. This war has contributed to the heightened tensions. The international community is deeply concerned. They are worried about the escalating violence between Israel and Hezbollah. Many countries and international organizations have spoken out. They have called for restraint and de-escalation from both sides. The potential for the situation to worsen is a major worry. The situation could spiral into a larger conflict. This could draw in regional and global powers. The United States has reaffirmed its support. They support Israel's right to defend itself. The U.S. has urged a peaceful resolution to the conflict. Other countries have called for dialogue and diplomacy. They want to address the root causes of the conflict. They also want to find a lasting solution. The international community is closely monitoring the situation. They are exploring ways to facilitate dialogue. They also want to prevent further violence. The focus remains on preventing a humanitarian crisis. Another focus is promoting stability in the region. The recent clashes between Israel and Hezbollah are a serious event. They are unfolding against the backdrop of another conflict. That conflict is between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. The convergence of these conflicts is creating a complex situation. The situation is volatile. It has the potential for significant regional implications. The fighting in Gaza has already caused a humanitarian crisis. There have been numerous civilian casualties. There is also widespread displacement. The involvement of Hezbollah adds another layer of complexity. This raises concerns of a multi-front war. The situation has drawn in regional actors. Iran is supporting Hezbollah. Other countries are expressing concern over the escalating violence. The international community is actively working to mediate. They want to mediate between the parties and prevent the conflict from getting worse. They are trying to prevent the conflict from spiraling out of control. The current situation in the Middle East is very concerning. The recent escalation between Israel and Hezbollah adds another layer of complexity. This is on top of the ongoing conflict between Israel and Hamas in Gaza. Finding a path towards de-escalation and peace is crucial. This is important to prevent further suffering and instability in the region. One path to de-escalation is a ceasefire agreement. This would require both Israel and Hezbollah to agree to halt all hostilities. International mediators could play a crucial role. They could facilitate negotiations and help both sides find common ground. A ceasefire would provide a much-needed respite from the violence. It would allow for humanitarian aid to reach those in need. However, a ceasefire alone would not address the root causes of the conflict. A long-term solution requires addressing the underlying political and security concerns of all parties involved. This includes finding a resolution to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. It also includes addressing Hezbollah's concerns about Israeli actions in Lebanon. This will require a sustained commitment to dialogue and diplomacy. All parties involved, including regional and international actors, must be committed to finding a peaceful resolution.